Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Is that Laffy Taffy?
No.
What is it?
It's
Laffy Taffy.
Oh, it's Lip Balm. Amy was playing with something over there, and I thought it was a banana Laffy Taffy.
Did you think I was like hoarding Laffy Taffy?
I was like, where the
it?
fuck is the stash of Laffy Taffy? It better not all be banana.
Do I look like a giant Laffy Taffy to you right now?
You do. Everyone does.
God.
You gonna wrap me?
Andy, can you give me those parodies?
Oh, Parody's nuts.
That's the ones.
Caught me off guard there. I was contemplating being skinned and eaten.
That's how I get at your D's nuts, is by catching you off guard. We're talking about. I don't know if I consider this week's pick strictly a parody. It's actually.
It is not. I would say it's not at all a parody.
Right. I feel like it is. It elevates the idea of doing a parody into something all its own.
Yeah.
So it still fits the theme. It's just like it's really.
It's a zag. It's a zag from the theme, but it's like it's an understandable.
Who picked it?
And it's our show too. Kelly did, I
Kelly.
think.
I did.
Suggested it.
Okay. Like, I think this is a great, though, it points out what you can do by springboarding from something that strictly could have been a parody and make something really awesome out of it. I love this movie.
Have we said it?
Yeah.
Galaxy
It's
Quest.
Galaxy Quest. If you're not looking at the episode description. Andy's going to review a movie called Backslash or Slash Back. Which one is it? Backslash.
It's neither.
Backsplash?
Flashback.
Splash. With Daryl Hannah?
Yes.
What is it again?
Splashback. Slashback.
Slashback.
Now we don't know.
That's for roulette.
Backsplash.
We're closing out the show this week with Kelly's new song, Cryptozoologist.
Oh, what?
I love the song. I love the artwork.
I love the
Thank you.
artist.
Do you think anyone listening is like, what's a cryptozoologist? No, I don't think a single one
Well, no, but you should listen to it, listeners.
is. You should, and you will
good.
at the end of the
It's fun.
episode. Don't turn it off.
I mean, you should definitely play it to the end. We'll know if you did not. And yeah, it's just thank you, friends, for playing it. It's my ode to the frustrating and exciting life of being a cryptozoologist.
Kelly and I both are indie musicians, and let me tell you, these are like this is like our biggest resource for getting people to go and check out the work that we both do, I think, because we have a pretty big audience here. So like, please check out The Obliging Victims on Spotify and Apple Music.
In all dem places.
Play that shit. Add that stuff to your playlist. Like if you have a playlist that Cryptozoologist fits in, add it to that.
If you like rock music, anyway, if you don't, you probably won't be into it unless you really like cryptozoology and you don't hate rock music.
That's
probably okay.
Rock and roll music and cryptozoology. Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
great.
That's the sort of work I'm doing over my.
Yes, that's where
it's
Freddy's
mostly just
headed.
spoofs.
Mamas and Papas, or not Mamas and the Papas. Mary Paul and John and
Paul
Peter
and
and Frankenstein.
Oh, from the Bible. Mary, Paul, and John.
Peter and Frankenstein.
I kind of love
And Ringo.
Peter, Paul, and Mary and Frankenstein idea. I feel like that's on par with like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies and that genre, but almost
Parsley, sage,
needs to
rosemary,
happen.
and fire.
Yep.
Patreon is how we pay for everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything, except for Amy's pittance. So please consider
That we buy
joining our
toilet
Patreon.
paper.
We got soft toilet paper this time. I got a surgery coming up. I ain't too proud to beg. Just don't flip coins at me.
He needs soft toilet paper money.
Yeah.
You guys don't understand. So for the longest time, we were on the Amazon subscribe and save, and we got our toilet paper. And then it just seemed like it was never in stock anymore. And frankly, fuck you, Amazon. So I canceled it.
Specific brand of toilet paper?
It was a quilted northern. It was a great.
Angel
it was
soft.
wonderful. It
Quilted
was
northern.
like
It's
a
nice.
goddamn pillow on your asshole, right?
Great.
Yeah.
Then it's up to me to go buy some toilet paper. And I'm just like looking at prices and like, this seems good.
Yeah.
Is it,
But
is it no longer quoted?
made with recycled razor
bought
blades?
I bought the Kroger
At least
brand.
it's recycled.
Yeah. It's green.
And Freddie had to have a talk with me about how we're not going to do that again.
Did your finger go through by accident? You touched your butthole?
No, it was
Yeah.
2-ply. It was just
Okay.
rough.
It was just real hard on the butthole. Like
Was it like elementary school
Yes.
paper towels?
Can you
no.
see? If you hold it to the light, can you see through it?
That bad.
definitely.
It was just made out of Amazon boxes.
yeah.
Just Amazon boxes.
We have some in case my sister needs to borrow a roll.
Of the old stuff.
The old stuff I have stashed for emergencies.
We have emergency toilet paper now, thanks to my error.
Um,
I'm like, it's toilet paper, whatever.
keep us in toilet
I
paper.
thought y'all didn't wipe anymore. Didn't you got to
Yeah.
We have a bidet, so we
Again,
use a lot less
You
toilet
still
paper.
wipe.
But you should still.
I
dry
still
it
don't
up.
understand.
I would say I use about the same amount of toilet paper
It's not-
as I ever
Yeah.
did. Just I feel
I still don't
better.
understand.
But you're
a
cleaner,
bidet.
yeah.
Spray some
It
water
wets
in your asshole.
you.
I know,
It
but
wets it.
If
It
you're
makes
do-
it like a wipe without having a wet wipe.
But if you're still wiping, then what's the point?
Well, you got to make
Well, you don't have-
sure.
you don't buy
It just
wet
gets,
wipes
It gets
then.
the doo-doo off, right?
Well, do you when you take a shower, you just take a dry washcloth and rub it all over you?
But it's part of it. It's part of the process. I don't under. I just.
Well, now this is part of the process. It's like it wets your area
Yeah.
to
Gets
give you
off
a
debris.
nice
It's the
to
missing
make
step.
it easy. Yeah.
It was.
it just
It
makes you
should
feel
have been
cleaner.
that way all along.
Okay.
From
Yeah.
the first time man pooped, there should have been a spray of water involved, but we didn't have the technology.
We didn't have the technology or the knowledge of what it could be.
Yeah, the French brought us there. They don't get enough credit for what they do for cinema or buttholes.
Freddie is
Pioneers in both.
his surgery this Friday on his shoulder, so he will be down one arm for a long time. And Shayna,
Yeah.
one of our friends and a listener, recommended this wand
She's
for wiping.
she's an occupational therapist is why
yeah.
she is qualified to recommend a butt wiping wand.
Have you tried the butt wiping wand yet? Have you practiced?
I started to
He
yesterday.
won't practice.
And you know what? I'm like, I just want to milk as much having an arm out of life as I can until I absolutely have to.
Until you cross that bridge of wiping with a wand.
Yeah, I've been playing piano every day as much as I can stand.
And wiping with his
you
hand.
get
Wiping
it?
with my hands.
Do you need a piano wand?
I need the piano one for my right. Yeah, what I normally would do with my right hand. It's the same wand.
The pooping wand and the piano wand are the same wand?
Yeah. We just released Origins on the Patreon, and it was from back in 2011, just probably weeks before Gangnam Style came out.
No, the
We
year
figured it out.
before.
Yeah, but we were were we near
Well, technically, that is weeks. It was weeks
on
before.
On Origins,
It was
Freddie-
like 60 weeks.
Yes.
on Origins. Freddie asked Kelley, "What was the hot dance that year?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "There's like a dance every year, right?"
It seems it's not like clockwork. You get a new dance every year, but I feel like back then you did. Back then it felt like somebody was in a room
Back then,
with a calendar and is like, "Oh fuck, I forgot to design a
Dougieing
new
and-
dance." Yeah.
and the other one's cat daddying,
Wouldn't it be fun if there's like
gotta
a
do all of
Santa's
these
workshop of people that create these
Flossing.
stanky legging.
Stanky legging, flossing.
Yeah.
Sounds so old right
The
now.
Running
Yeah,
Man,
the running man.
the twist, mashed potato,
The waltz.
Well, I
the
mean,
dance of the seven veils.
would you like me to sound even older? Because in my head, I'm like, well, aren't they dancing on TikTok all the time? So there's like a new dance craze every week.
I don't even know.
I
anymore,
don't
man.
know because I don't use it.
You don't use dance.
So yes, patreon.com/NOTLP.
Is that why listenership isn't bigger because we're not on TikTok. TikTok.
Tic-tac.
TikTok doing dances. See, I even know what it's
That's
called.
part of the problem right there.
Do you think
we need to get ourselves out there and do dances, everybody.
is that the key to America in the world's heart? Dancing on TikTok?
I don't know.
I don't want to live in that world.
But I do a little dance. I wiggle in my chair.
You do a little dance? Mm-hmm. Make a little love?
Mm-hmm. I get down every
So
afternoon.
as social media
He does a little wiggle.
I'm going to need a dance a week from each one of you.
A new dance?
Yeah.
I do some spectacular dancing when I'm trying to make Freddie smile when he's grumpy because he's in pain.
Yeah, she does do a little dance.
you
Sometimes
can-
she'll do it when
I'm
I'm
dancing
not
all the
even. I'll be like doing something and she'll start dancing and I won't. I'm blind in my left eye.
5 minutes later,
and
I'm
she'll
like,
come up on my left
he
side
still
dancing.
hasn't seen this. So why am I still doing it?
Yeah,
You're a private dancer.
Mm-hmm.
You're his Tina Turner.
dancing for money. Do what you want me to do.
Except the dishes.
Except the dishes.
I'm sorry. That was only for comedy's sake. That was really only for comedy's sake, Amy.
No, I know. I've been good about the dishes.
She has been.
No, I don't. I don't care if you ever do them. That's not my problem. But
If you want to hear about that, what Topicana we talked about dirty dishes.
Yeah.
we did.
If you're into that,
That's why I said it. Yeah.
If you're into dirty dishes.
you into dirty dishes. This sounds like code for something.
Very niche.
It's the only kind of dishes I am into.
Are you trying to buy drugs? Yeah, you got any of those?
You'll have to
Dirty
listen and
dishes?
find out.
Who's
You'll
got
have to
them?
patronize.
Yeah, you should.
So, how's everybody's week been? How we doing? How are we in this holiday season faring? We haven't seen the sun in a
Copacetic.
week. If you live in Cincinnati, you haven't seen the sun in a week.
I've been so cool with that.
I'm starting to go a little nuts.
I love the dark. Like
I
wish-
alone.
I do wish often. I'm one of those people. I love when it's dark in the morning. It's because I don't have to go to a job. I understand this. I don't have to
Yeah.
leave my house. I do my job in my house. So I like it to be, I would love for it to be like 5 a.m. Well, I'd love for it to be like 3 a.m. dark until like 8 a.m. and then start dawn so that like it's fully bright at like noon.
So you'd have darkness savings time.
Mhm.
I mean, we are creeping up on the winter solstice, so
I would love that.
the longest night of the year,
Yeah.
shortest day.
Does anybody do anything special for the solstice? Anything pagan?
I just need the sun to come out for like an hour. That's all I
I thought I
need.
saw it peeking out today.
Well, I didn't though.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Man,
I was outside. I never once saw it.
I spend so much time indoors right now.
Yeah, well, it's winter.
Yeah, it's fucked with my head a little bit, I think.
I got a lot of windows though.
Yeah.
That's nice. Look at this guy. La-ti-da.
Man, you must
I
have
got
95
Windows
of those
money, you
things.
guys.
So what have we been doing? What have we been watching? Anything cool?
Yeah.
What?
Cool stuff.
Modern Family
Oh, I love
and a holiday
Modern Family.
baking championship.
A hot show, Modern Family.
I've watched Little America just came back, which is an Apple Plus show, just about like immigrant families.
Immigrant?
Excuse me.
No, immigrant.
Like first generation Americans and how like it's their true stories. That's really great. That's like my feel good show because everything else we watch is batshit.
You watched Wednesday, right?
Wednesday was a blast.
Yeah, have we talked about that?
Big
Andy, did you watch any of that?
recommend.
I'm going to watch it in 2 days.
I hate you so much.
On Wednesday.
What day did you watch it?
Oh my God.
I don't remember. There's Alise poking in.
Hi, Alise.
I feel like Kelly and Alise
Oh, get a room.
Oh my! I will probably love Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Is it Tim Burton?
It's Tim Burton. He directs the first half of the series, the first 4 episodes, and then they divvy up directing duty after that. But he establishes like the look and the feel and the attitude of the show really well. And it's not what I expected at all. It's a lot like Veronica Mars, but with a lot of Harry Potter elements. It's fun.
I'm tired of spooky schools. It's just
I am
not for me
too.
anymore.
I am too, but this is done. Honestly, it does it so well that I was like, I'm glad I decided to watch it. I was going to pass it up because I thought it was for, I'm not for kids, but I just didn't feel like I was the target audience, but I still got a ton out of it. As an Addams Family fan, I really enjoyed it as well.
How's the new Wednesday?
She's awesome. That Jenna Ortega, is that right? Is it Jenna or Jenny?
Jenna.
I love her salsa.
She's really great.
So it's is it very Addams Family? Is there a lot of does it feel Addams Family-esque?
Somehow Tim Burton managed to make it feel like a completely seamless transition from the Addams Family into basically Hogwarts. If you could imagine Wednesday Addams showing up to Hogwarts, and it sounds so stupid.
I can.
It just sounds kind of dumb, right? Like it sounds like derivative and kind of like a waste of time. Like when you, on paper, to me, this sounds like something I wouldn't enjoy because there's just too much of that stuff out there that's similar.
Do you feel like there's been
That was what was keeping me from. That was what was keeping me from checking it out.
Are you a fan of early Tim Burton stuff?
I love Tim Burton.
It's very true to he directed the first 4 episodes, so you get like basically a 4-hour Tim Burton movie.
I have not loved much of his more recent stuff. I'm not even saying that affects this. I just I like
this is if you think of Batman era of Tim Burton. It's most similar to, I would say, Batman Returns with a touch of like he still gets that Addams Family, like the Addams Family movies especially. He kind of gets that vibe from Addams Family Values. There's some references.
Well, they were already kind of, you felt like he could have been involved in.
He didn't do that, did he?
No.
Movies? Okay. I just feel like he did.
No.
Do you feel like when this show hit Netflix and it became a hit, that the boardroom at Hot Topic was like, hey guys,
we need to ramp up production.
We're going to be okay.
Yeah. They were like, they fell to their knees. There was praise.
Their stock price went through the roof.
Everybody got free beanies to put on their heads.
Everybody got free My Chemical Romance shirts to wear.
Barry Sonnenfeld directed the original movie.
Oh,
Barry Sonnenfeld, right? Yes. Yeah.
So are we going to see a bunch of chicks with pigtails now and Peter Pan collars?
Oh, you're going to see a ton of it already. There's already people.
I feel like you've been seeing that. Yeah.
I've seen a little. There's been a little Wednesday representation at like Horror Hound.
Yeah.
For sure.
I feel like there was always some Wednesday love.
Actually, Alise was Wednesday Addams for Halloween. One of the first couple years we were together. Second, I think, maybe third.
Is it going to translate to guys where they're going to be Pugsley and have the striped shirts with the belly peeking out?
That would be great.
I hope so.
I want that aesthetic to come back, like if it ever was in style.
The thing about this show Wednesday, that there's a lot of surprises in there, and I won't give away any of the big ones.
Is Pugsley in it?
Yeah, but briefly, because it's really about Wednesday leaving home.
Yeah.
And but it's bloody and it's violent and it's like it's got an edge to it that took me off guard, but I loved it. I love it. I think it's great. I can't wait to see what they do with another season. It's got a lot of potential.
Cool, bro.
Yeah, man.
Good to know.
But I've watched a lot of music documentaries.
What kind of classes are they taking at the spooky school? Is it just regular shit? Or just like spells and stuff like that?
It's not spells. You should watch it. Just watch it. I'm not going to describe it anymore because I don't want to ruin it. Because I will do it a disservice if I try to describe it. There's a Dio documentary out for Dio fans. I know some of you are Dio fans.
Yes, we talked about again. Alise brought that up too. She she mentioned that. So, and I saw you post about it.
It's great. It's so good. It gave me like such insight into who that guy was. Like I love Dio's music. I think he's like a really awesome, powerful singer, and the genre is perfect for like a Dungeons and Dragons nerd like me as a kid. Like those albums were just great for that stuff. But I never really knew who he was or what he was about, and this was real eye opening and actually like really super moving. Like it took me off guard. I didn't expect it at all. For it to like kind of
everything's taking you off guard.
Get me with a lump. Yeah, things have been surprising me. I think it's part of the losing the cynicism as you get older, and then you kind of just see like the quality of things like right away. You're like, this has substance or this doesn't have substance. It's almost immediate now. I don't have to think about the details. Like I saw Wednesday and I'm like, this has substance. It feels interesting. It feels like they cared about what they were doing. I'm involved. And it was the same with Dio, where I'm like, this isn't just a lazy music documentary. It's really the arc of Dio's life and like learning about who he was as a person, how he affected other people, and his contribution to music and the controversy when he took over in Sabbath and all that. it's really, really, even if you're not a Dio fan, if you're a Sabbath fan and you're one of those guys that hated that Dio came in, it's still an interesting perspective. It's really, really well made. It's on Showtime.
You know what I watched yesterday?
What?
The Bengals-Browns game.
Yeah,
You know what? I didn't, and I think that's why they won.
Amy thought they were going to lose because she watched.
We finally beat them. That's why. I didn't watch the Chiefs game last week because
I was too nervous.
I feel like I'm bad luck for it.
Yes.
Watching games.
That one I did watch because I felt like they'd won the last two before that, and it would be okay for me to watch.
So we all think we're bad luck
Because
I do.
yeah.
I absolutely do. I'm like, anytime Amy pays attention to a game, they lose. So Amy can't do that anymore. But it turns out it was just a bad first couple of games of the season, and Amy's allowed to watch.
I think
again.
we've just been so attuned to them losing
I
and
know.
blowing leads.
I know.
that everybody thinks we're bad luck.
It was nice to have football on in the house again, just for no other reason than that is like almost the ocean sound sometimes. You know what I mean? Like you get accustomed to like Sundays. We all watched so much football in our house growing up that like that's the sound of Sunday. You know, is that low roar of the crowd. It's kind of like there's something about it that even if you don't like football, I feel like there's a vibe there you can get into and eat some fucking chicken wings and do other things.
Look at tight little bottoms running around.
You get to look at the tight. Amy was getting all fired up over all these young men.
Calm down. I was just saying. There's some fine booties
Especially in the white pants.
It's professional
in the white
athletes, you know.
pants. Okay.
I especially love when you can see the line of the jock.
Yeah, of course.
You see the line of the jock strap through the pants.
I bet you do,
Yeah.
Andy.
You pause and rewind a lot of that.
It's such a delay.
Whoa.
But it's
Did they play solid throughout?
No.
Because even so, was it? Did they
It was
sag in the middle?
They've never played like solid throughout.
It
It
didn't
started.
start
The
very
Bengals
well.
started. They started wonky,
Yeah.
but then it was solid through the rest of the game.
Yeah.
They're playing the Browns. Browns famously have a disgusting sexual creep as their quarterback. Man gets how much? $230 million guaranteed for what he did. But whatever. But the cameramen, a few times they snuck. I saw signs in the crowd like no means no. And I saw that on NBC. So I was like, thank you, cameraman.
Nice.
Anyway,
Yeah, fuck the Browns. I don't know what you're talking about, but
fuck their shitty quarterback.
but fuck them for sure.
Yeah, he was accused of rape.
Oh
He,
well,
like,
yeah, fuck them for sure.
assaulted multiple, like,
Masseuses,
Dozens.
like, physical therapists.
yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
But he got his 11 games of suspension, so he's done his time.
I'm out of touch so much that had you not told me that, I would never would have known.
And this is why I'm still freaking out about not having Twitter.
Yeah, it's weird to support an organization that doesn't care.
They don't care.
As an awful organization.
Yeah.
But it's the Bengals, man. you look the other way for certain
no, the
things.
Browns. We're talking about the Browns.
Yeah, not the Bengals.
The NFL in general.
But just
Well,
I'm talking
yes,
about the
you're
NFL in
right.
general. It's a disgusting
You're right.
organization.
You're not wrong.
But
Well, I mean,
But
if
the
you really
Bengals
want
are
to pull
also-
back like that, what organization isn't
True.
Right.
disgusting that has millions of dollars to spend on anything?
Right. And especially once they put all their resources in an individual and now that person represents the profit margin.
But it just makes me think, what would happen if Joe Burrow was accused of that stuff? Would I look the other way because I love the Bengals and Joe Burrow?
I can't.
No, I don't think you would.
No, I don't
can't.
think so.
I can't. I don't think I could.
I
look
don't
the
know.
other
It's
way.
like I haven't crossed.
I mean,
never had to deal
think
with
of Bill
that, but,
Cosby.
yeah.
You loved Bill Cosby before all this stuff came out.
That was after. It wasn't.
Oh, you
know?
became a fan. You're like, who is this Cosby guy? I like his style.
Like there are the accusations became with Cosby and Michael Jackson like came after their heyday. So,
you were over your love
Yeah.
at that point.
but it doesn't change the stuff they made already.
Oh, well, let me tell you,
but
dude.
it's different when being a fan of somebody that's
Active.
actively being like awful.
The Browns fucking signed this dude. These accusations were already out there. Anyway,
I can't bring myself to watch any Will Smith shit now. And
You're still mad at him?
I gave Andy so much shit about his Tom Cruise thing, but I have that now. I get it more. Where I don't like he has a new movie out, which is supposed to be a good movie and everything, but I'm like, I can't enjoy that.
Just because you slapped a dude.
It's really just the whole thing. It's not so much just the slap, but the way he handled it after the fact too. It's just like it just seems like he didn't give a shit.
Fuck you, Will Smith.
I don't know. I just like I can't empathize with him anymore. Like if I can't empathize,
No, you're
with the
allowed to
performer,
not
it's,
be
like,
logical either, and you don't have to completely
I'm not
explain
gonna try
it.
to convince you to like
It's a
Will Smith
feeling.
because
Yeah,
you're not gonna. It's not like when you try to convince me to like Tom Cruise.
Right.
I wasn't trying to convince you to like him. I was trying
Amy.
to convince you
I know.
to not miss out on a good
can't.
movie. But I understand what I'm trying to tell you, Andy, is I do understand because now, even though I've heard this new Will Smith movie is supposed to be really excellent, I can't watch it. I can't enjoy it. All I'm going to think about is him slapping Chris Rock and then kind of disappearing, and then all the mechanisms that went into play to cover it up and all the power differentials involved and all that shit.
Bums
all
them
I'll think
out,
about.
bro.
Yeah. It's good to talk about that topic when it's hot, like the Oscar slap.
Well, no, it's
just
about the
kidding.
fallout,
You're
man.
old now.
Yeah, the fallout of it is the
Can
thing.
you believe
He
that?
just turned up on the Daily Show, like one of the last episodes with
Did
Trevor Noah.
they talk about what happened?
They did, and he wasn't super apologetic about it either. He was more. It was more like, well, I grew up in a bad home, and it didn't feel like they took him to task for it, even on the show, like in any real way. It was not very soft on him.
Well, what does he need to do to redeem himself?
Apologize sincerely and publicly to Chris
Like,
Rock, and make
I don't-
amends.
I don't know what that's supposed to look like.
It's what Chris Rock wants. Freddie's just saying like it turned you off, and frankly, you don't need to consume any Will Smith shit. So
I
that's
won't want to eat
fine.
his shit. No, but
Because it doesn't matter.
I'm turned off by
it is
people who haven't done anything at all wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's just a
I might
feeling.
have liked your face.
I could be wrong too. He might have worked it out privately with them and everything too. It is a matter of perception on my end.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the reality of Will Smith and who he is. He's
Right.
probably, I'm sure he's a great person. Like he's this is the one time I
But
saw him
like
fall
for me,
apart.
it's like it's not like I was a huge Will Smith fan at all. Like, so I have no dog in this fight of whether I can't watch his stuff anymore.
I wasn't a
But
huge
like,
fan,
let's say like if I love Taylor Swift, what if she went on stage and slapped Chris Rock? Would I be upset about it?
Be real weird, wouldn't
would
it?
I be like, hey, it's Taylor Swift, it's okay? Because I love
of
her
course,
stuff.
your feelings towards the person will absolutely influence.
I guess
your
I'm trying to say it
feelings
changed
about
my
the
feelings
situation.
about the person. It's not that like
Yeah, somebody-
I'm like I don't see him as the same person as I used to. Like he doesn't work for me anymore because I saw him this way up till that night.
It's like
and I've seen him a different way since, and then a worse way once I saw him on the Daily Show because I realized he's just like all these other Hollywood people that they're like they can get away with anything, man. The rich can get away with anything.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely get where you're coming from. Where about like it being, especially it's kind of a personal thing for what you because like and obviously this isn't a hot take. Like I can't watch any new Mel Gibson stuff,
God,
and
me
even
either.
even old stuff now. I have trouble with.
Same.
But there are other directors that I really don't have any problem with it. You would be like, you have a problem with that, but not that. And because
don't you feel it's like you knew Mel Gibson as this heroic kind of character in the movies we grew up watching him in? It turned out he's not that person. He's a shithead.
Yeah.
But with Roman Polanski,
that's basically who I'm talking about.
My whole experience with him was as a shady character. So his
right.
his
Well, yeah, that
identity
might have
never
something to
changed.
do with it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah, like Roman Polanski never voiced your favorite cartoon characters in animated movies in the 2000s.
Right. Like, or if it was Russell Crowe
What if he did? That'd be crazy.
punching somebody.
Yeah.
I expect that. I'm like, that's who he is. I expect that from him. But like,
He's Australia. That's what they do.
and I'm not excusing it either. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't affect my perception of his performance because I already see him as a loose cannon. But I saw Will Smith as a very controlled actor who was really just a very empathetic and like almost hippie-esque kind of guy. And then to see him go up and like physically attack someone who he was friends with on stage, and then the way everything else fell out from it.
Still talking about this.
I know. I'm sorry. Because it's about him having a new movie. It's like this whole thing with
Yeah.
Mel Gibson. He keeps getting movies.
Yeah.
He's powerful enough, and somehow people are like, you know what? We're gonna make a Daddy's Home 4 or whatever it's at, and like.
Capitalism, man.
With Will Ferrell was in one of those daddy's homes.
But the thing is,
he should know better.
He should.
Well, he wasn't in it with Mel. Well, I guess he's been in all of them. So yeah, he wasn't. Because that was a sequel.
It's like Mark Wahlberg, of course, because what a dipshit.
But Mel Gibson even turns up in like some of the lower budget action movies I like to watch. Yeah. It's a distraction to me. It doesn't add anything to it.
I absolutely hate him. I hate Mel Gibson, you guys.
He sucks. But I can't give up my Road Warrior movies. I'll still watch Lethal Weapon too. I think. I don't know. I might not. If I went back and watched these things, maybe that's all I would think about. I don't even know.
Look at his hair.
Oh, good Lord. Why do I got to know so much about these people? It always comes back to that.
Well, I try not to. Yeah. Sometimes you can't avoid it. Like I try not to find out too much about the people who make the stuff that I like, because it's not about that for me. But sometimes they make it impossible, and I'm like, God damn you!
Yeah.
I tried not to find this out about you. You fucking stop saying things so publicly.
You fucking
It's too true.
It makes me think about people who listen to this show, and it's like, do I say things about my own life?
Well, our
you're
listener,
like, God damn it, lady, shut the fuck up.
Our listener number fluctuates up and down. So it's like you're connecting at any given time. You're on that time is a flat circle, man. You're connecting with a different kind of person.
We're all just people, man.
So
at any given point in time.
Let's put that.
We're just molecules. We're just discombobulated molecules.
Somebody from the show needs to volunteer to slap somebody on the stage and see what happens.
Okay.
All right. The next time they do one of those shows with the Incredibles at Disney World,
you're going to slap Mrs. Incredible's face off?
I'm going to slap the baby.
Not the baby.
It's a grown person in there.
So I have done zero research, and by research I mean reading an article about it. But these scientists are saying they've figured out how to make fusion happen. They did a thing. Did you guys see this?
I thought Ford already figured that out.
Don't make me explain something I know very little about.
I don't even know what fusion is.
I don't know.
Nuclear fusion.
Are we about to really get into quantum fusion mechanics?
No. They did it. They actually,
why is it such a big deal?
A tiny little sliver of time, were able to get more energy out than they put in.
Oh, okay.
Because it could be abundant, clean energy if we can figure this out.
Yeah, I think it's just like cold fusion where you can do it without extreme heat.
Girl, I do not know.
I think that's all they focus on now.
I did not read the article.
But that's awesome.
It's very Star Trek and cool, and I'm like, here we go.
Or is it dangerous?
But here's the thing.
Or is it dangerous?
Are they going to open a black hole somewhere?
What is dangerous, but also it would, that's the path to, energy, cleaner, abundant energy. But of course, money won't let that happen. Like, so everyone will still be fucked over.
Well, they'll find a way to fuck us with that instead.
Well, aren't you guys just fun?
Has Elon taken credit for it already?
Well, who knows? He's too busy trying to get Fauci prosecuted right now.
I feel his cult has already said, yeah, thanks, Elon, for the cold fusion.
I apologize for that long ramble about Will Smith, y'all.
Amy, smack him right now.
All right, let's go.
I don't know what got into me.
But be excited. Maybe we're gonna fucking Starfleet is any day now.
I think maybe we have too much weed.
Maybe. All right.
Well, I'm gonna hard disagree with that.
Maybe we don't have enough then.
What's the perfect amount?
3.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight to video Russian roulette.
It's the longest day of the year, and what a beautiful one.
This place is like a ghost town. For real lame.
Welcome to Crap Hole.
Population, who cares?
Pang? What other crap hole are you living in? I think Pang is awesome.
You guys! What is it? It was like pure pants scary.
What was it? ego. When evil comes to our world, they can disguise themselves as anything. They're like hunter aliens.
You said aliens?
My dad always told me you have to observe what you're gonna hunt to understand how to hunt it. They came here to hunt us, but what they don't know is that we're the best hunters there is. Let's go hunting.
Emergency, emergency, emergency! Gross!
I love it.
All right.
Well,
Andy.
Slashback, correct?
Correct.
Yep. Slash back. It's spelled slash, then the slash, then the word back.
Slashback.
Back.
slash back.
That's back.
I highly recommend this movie. This was so good.
It looks good. The
It was
trailer looked great.
God.
Yeah?
It was like heartwarming.
Oh my gosh.
It was so moving. I got choked. Like, granted,
Oh, yay.
I cry so easily.
You do.
But so don't take my word for it. And the reasons I cried are probably not other people's reason for being moved by this movie because, like, again, I'm a big old baby. Can tell me I changed my diaper.
Little baby.
But yeah, it was just reminded me of the Goonies and Stand By Me. Like
Wow.
it's very like an 80s vibe without being 80s in your face. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
You know how like some movies just have references and the look of it to make it feel like 80s, but this it's like it just has that feel of adventure.
The feeling? Was it like the fourth character in the movie?
Yes, it was the
Fourth
location.
main character.
It had me right away because it had kids on bikes.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
it tells you right
You're
away
easy.
what they're going for.
Have you seen BMX? That movie is a lot of kids on bikes.
What about that one about the bike messengers?
Oh, Premium
Joseph
Rush.
Gordon-Levitt.
Dude, that movie rocks.
Oh, did you hear about him though?
He's a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Really talented, can dance and act.
But you know what I'm saying? Like you see kids on bikes and you know you're in for a fun ride.
An adventure.
Ironically.
Because they're
Fun
riding
bike
bikes,
ride.
yeah. Do kids ride bikes anymore? Is that a thing?
I barely
still?
see it in our neighborhood.
I mean, they did when I had bike age kids.
Yeah.
About, I don't know.
Bike Age sounds
8
like a
years ago.
magazine for like motorcycle.
About 8
gangs.
years ago. At the time of Origins, they did. Of today's Origins. So at least
2011.
Yeah.
as late as 2011.
All right.
2013 hits, no bikes at all.
I'm sure there's bikes because wasn't there a bike like shortage
Yeah,
during the
there was.
pandemic? But that's because everybody
Yeah.
was home. Anyway, kids are riding bikes
Yeah.
still.
Skynet eliminated all the bikes.
So it's about this community. I believe they're Inuit. They're like way north in Canada. Like it's very remote. It gives me a. They actually reference the thing at some points.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Oh, wow,
the
yeah.
location serves its purpose of like
Way the fuck
isolation
out
and stuff
there.
like that.
The trailer looked like it had a pretty great visual effects.
Yeah.
Well,
Saskatchewan, Winnipeg.
This movie is not about the big bad and the horror. It's more about the characters.
yeah.
The big threat is even introduced in probably maybe to like 30, 40 minutes into the movie because they're establishing the characters and their relationships.
I like that.
And it makes you care for the characters.
That old
and-
So many
chestnut.
movies
Yeah.
they try to shortcut that the relationship
Yeah.
building, and I hate it.
Or they fuck it up and make it boring.
Well, that too.
Like they try to do it like you should, and they actually have like a really great third act written. And they're like, well, we have to have these characters built up in the first 2 acts, and then
Death
they
proof.
half-ass that part. Yeah, I hate that. Like, so it's that balance is good.
But it's one of those movies that shows as rather than tell. It it's very subtle the way it establishes characters and the relationships. And they're like preteens, teenagers, maybe 13, 14, that age, but they're not annoying as like a lot of movie teens are.
Yeah.
They're not precocious. You know what I mean?
They look like they act like kids.
Yeah,
They don't suck.
They act like kids. They're not doing things that are adultish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like talking like adults.
Right.
They say they're adulting at any point. I understand that's what adults do.
Adulting.
They said they can't today.
Can't even
Too
today.
much adulting today.
I feel so old right now. I feel like that whole meme isn't even alive anymore. The adulting meme.
It died.
Well, memes come and go so fast
Yeah.
now.
They do.
So. Anyway.
But that's the thing, Freddie. People our age still say it.
That's right.
So, these kids are just so likable. It feels like Taika Waititi a little bit.
Yeah.
Just, the way he builds like really likable characters.
And also showcasing a native
Yeah, and
communities.
real characters.
Yeah.
That's what made me like kind of get choked up about this. It's just representation does matter.
Yeah.
To see like a group in a community that you don't ever really see on the screen.
Yeah.
And it's just, I hate to use that word, but it seems authentic and real.
Well, you're getting more. I always feel like I'm getting more bang for my buck if it's set in a place I'm not familiar with. I mean, there are times when I want the comfort of a familiar setting, but there's a reason that like when we watched Incantation, one of the most rewarding things about that movie was the settings were so foreign.
Right.
And the ideas in the movie were so foreign to me. And that felt like I was getting more out of it than just a horror movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, it felt real. They even have like they speak the Inuit language in this movie, and on the soundtrack there's like throat singing.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's cool.
It's really authentic all around. And like I said, the movie is not even about the threat, even though it seems like they defeat it pretty easily, but in the context of who they are, it's very childlike.
Yeah.
The threat, and it seems real that they could.
Is it juvenile
defeat
diabetes?
this. So
Freddy Morris.
And there's like social commentary in it, but it doesn't hit you over the head with it.
Yeah.
It's not. Is it woke?
It's not.
Is it woke?
This could play in Florida. Like DeSantis is not going to ban it.
Well, it's not about white people though.
But like one of my favorite scenes in the movie is there's just the kids are just hanging out, like doing nothing and
Bantering, hanging.
and a cop comes up and says, "It's like you're up to no good," but it's like a white cop, and like he comes in hot and thinks they're smoking or something, but then one of the Inuit cops come around and disperse like the crowd and relate to the kids.
Right.
Does he spin a chair around?
But
does he rap?
It's just it shows you how important it is for like the people who police a community to live there and be part of the people.
Part of it, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that scene, it didn't like hit you over the head with like that commentary. Just it was just very subtle.
It was there.
Yeah,
the commentary is there. It's just not spoken.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, so
maybe it's on the commentary track.
The effects are, I feel, they're not the best.
Really, what they show in the trailer, I'm not going to give away anything from it, but it was like a monster effect that looked pretty cool.
Yeah, but they did the best what they work for. Like they don't show the monster very much, which is a good workaround of not having a big budget.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, if you're a viewer and you can't just shut the fuck up for 5 seconds and understand not everybody's got Marvel money.
Yeah, it's more suggestive of
like you see the monster
horror.
shows a little leg.
Way more creative that way.
Well, you
like
just see like
them
pull somebody away and see like a blood splash or something.
Right.
And that's like an easy way to get around of not showing monster effects.
A lot of times I prefer that.
Yeah.
Even when they do have the budget to make these really great looking monsters, like nothing beats your imagination. I know this sounds like a school teacher, but nothing beats your imagination, kids.
Did you hear that, kids?
If the filmmaker is competent enough in the other areas to build the atmosphere and the expectation, you already kind of know what the monster looks like in your imagination anyway, to some degree.
Yeah, I really recommend this movie. It's really, really good.
Where is it? Is it Shudder?
It's Chandler, yeah.
Shudder.
Well, we pray and hope to the horror movie gods that Shudder sticks around, because there's a lot of bad rumors going around that's going to be pulled. The AMC is...
There are?
Yeah, they laid a bunch of people off, and...
Lots of tech companies are doing that.
But then also, like, there's also
I would be devastated
that it's going to be absorbed as a hub into AMC. But it's, you know... I don't know.
It's not going to be its own thing anymore. It's just going to be like
the
horror channel on AMC or something. Just won't have as many
resources if that happens.
Which is actually, I mean, as long as the programming is consistent, we have AMC Plus and Shudder in our house.
But Shudder is really good about getting like little movies and just saying like Shudder original attached to it.
Right.
I feel that's a sign of quality nowadays to say
they do a good
job. Put a Shudder original on it.
Yeah, they pick like interesting titles.
We're not paid by them, listener. This is just
we're
us
fans.
yapping.
It's like how cool it is, like that when I was a kid, man, to have a horror movie channel like this.
I know.
We went through a few. You can hear it during the show over the last
Chiller and Monsters HD.
Yeah. And there's another one out now called, I think, Screambox, I believe, and which is a...
Does that still exist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where Terrifier went, didn't it?
I don't know.
Terrifier's on Netflix.
No, Terrifier 2.
Terrifier.
I think it went to Screambox first.
Oh.
It's not even streaming yet that I know of. I mean, unless it's on, just on
you
that
can rent
service.
it or buy it or something. Anyway.
Don't Shudder.
Yeah,
Keep
so
it
hopefully
open.
Shudder will stick around. So more of these kinds of movies can be made.
Let's see what's up for next week in the straight-to-video Russian roulette segment of this very show. It's called Christmas, Bloody Christmas, because it's almost Christmas. Why not?
I've seen some people watching this recently on Instagram.
Okay.
Through their bedroom windows.
Mm-hmm.
It's Christmas Eve, and Tori just wants to get drunk and party. But when a local toy store's robotic Santa Claus goes haywire and begins a rampant killing spree through her small town, she's forced into a battle for survival.
Yeah, of course.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Christmas, Bloody Christmas is on Shudder.
Can you spin the wheel for me, Amy?
It's spinning, baby.
I got you, Andy. I knew it would be awkward.
Spinning the wheel, spinning the wheel. Freddie.
All right.
Well, almost Kelley.
This one looks
Then
pretty
it
good.
wasn't.
I'm into it, man. I'm into it.
Or you know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You ready to talk about our big old...
Yes.
The elephant in the room, so to speak?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do.
In the far reaches of the galaxy, a civilization is under siege.
We are all that is left.
They've searched the universe for a leader.
Stay tuned for scenes from next week's Galaxy Quest.
Never give up, never surrender.
He will save us.
What they got...
Never give up and never surrender.
Were struggling TV actors.
You are our last hope.
Where's my limo?
Okie dokie.
And they're about to put on a command performance 8 million light years away.
We are actors, not astronauts.
You are our protectors.
That was a hell of a thing.
Now,
Laredo, take us out.
You gotta move to the right.
Would you sit your ass down? You wanna drive this thing?
acting like heroes.
The whole thing was just a misunderstanding.
May not be enough.
They look like little children. Hi, little guy.
I'm done. DreamWorks Pictures presents Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, Galaxy Quest.
You're just gonna have to kill it.
We'll go for the mouth, the throat, his vulnerable spots. It's a rock. It doesn't have any vulnerable spots.
You know, this is maybe the best thing I think DreamWorks has done.
It's pretty flawless.
Yeah.
It's really pretty flawless. This is so much better than I remembered it. Fucking A, man. Great movie. Really great movie.
Amy, do you have anything to say about this movie?
You're shit your mouth. No, like I saw it for the first time during the pandemic, probably early on in the pandemic, and loved it. Because now that I was like a full-on Star Trek nerd, it spoke to me. Freddie was like, "You're ready." Then we watched it Saturday night, and I fell asleep and was like, "I'll watch it. I'll finish it later."
But here's like, even if I watched it during the pandemic, I wouldn't remember it.
I don't remember any of the end
because my memory's so bad nowadays.
You guys are gonna have to fill me in.
Well, you know, it's a convention.
That's what she said.
You're gonna fill me up.
It isn't a direct parody movie like Student Bodies, but aspects of the plot are parodying Star Trek nerds.
And for
so
a
that's
double,
good enough.
It is. I mean, they definitely are specifically referencing Star Trek and real Star Trek lore too. Mm-hmm. And then what's also fun is this is also referencing other movies. You got your Three Amigos. You got your one that's referencing
9.5 weeks.
Oh, well, Bug's Life did that too.
A Bug's Life, yeah. Some very specific and exact same almost, like the meeting of El Guapo is very similar to meeting the space monster.
Yeah, the villain. What was his name? Like Saris or something?
Saris, that's it. Yeah. Really, really great. All the characters are great. I can't believe how good Tim Allen did acting.
Yeah, you're right. Because this is back then when he's coming off of Home Improvement. We didn't know him yet as Buzz Lightyear, or
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's
you knew him as Buzz Lightyear because this was 99.
When did Toy Story come out?
94.
94.
Oh, wow.
Or 95. Yeah, no, 95. You're right.
Oh, okay.
Andy you would know it's like your favorite movie, but then you didn't trust yourself and let Kelley sway you for a second.
You guys all trust my memory way too much.
We really
Although
do.
I did remember a second later that it was 95, not 94.
So that villain we were talking about, Saris, is played by the late Robert Sachs, who has been on pretty much every sci-fi show that we watched.
Robin Sachs.
Did I say Robert?
Yes.
I meant to say Robin.
Yeah, that's a very familiar name. I'm sure they've been on.
Has he been on Star Trek?
He's done Babylon 5. I think he was on maybe Deep Space, one of the Star Trek series. I'm pretty sure.
So he's
He's on Buffy.
Well,
he was on Voyager.
He's a genre guy.
Like, my favorite part of this movie is that everybody was in it.
Yeah,
which is kind of like what Star Trek did. Because didn't everybody eventually show up on Star Trek?
Everybody.
Well, there was a lot of cameos, but not even on this level. This movie is like a lot of people who
little baby Justin Long
got their start.
Justin Long playing young Ross Geller.
Yeah,
in this movie.
Got little Rainn Wilson.
Yeah,
little Rainn Wilson. Little Missy Pyle.
Drizzle Wilson. What'd you say, Kelley?
I said little Missy Pyle.
Little Missy Pyle.
Yeah, I didn't recognize her at all.
She's so adorable in this movie.
Enrico Colantoni, who I just got done watching on Just Shoot Me. Who said something about Veronica Mars earlier? Freddie, you did.
Oh, that's right. That was that's Elliot. That's where I knew Malthazar from. Holy shit!
And then Sheriff Mars.
Tony Shalhoub from Wings.
Tony
from
Shalhoub,
Wings, which I just got done watching.
Sigourney Weaver,
a few years ago.
Alan Rickman.
Another
Daryl Mitchell, whose career I don't know if his career really kept going necessarily the way it was here, but he does some fun voice work on like F is for Family and stuff.
And another thing I loved about this movie, it wasn't mean. It could have easily made like all the fans be like the joke of them.
Oh yeah, it was not mean. I don't think it was mean spirit. I mean, maybe a little bit, but the fans turned out to be heroes.
Yeah, they turned out to be heroes.
Right,
It's like it could have made fun of the fandom easily, but
I just meant some of like the crowd shots in the beginning because again I fell asleep at the convention. Like they were some awkward people, but hey,
but
there are awkward people at those conventions.
Yeah, it's like after doing Horror Hounds for so long,
and I've been to one Star Trek convention now. I should know better.
you get like a new appreciation for like the fandom, and even the actors that show up, and how nobody's really a villain in this movie.
Well, Sarah's.
I know. Like, I'm talking about the actors. Like it could have.
Well, they don't need anybody else to be a villain because they go so pure. It's such a pure, story.
It covers like all the bases of the actors that do these conventions, the people who are really into it, and the people who are just doing it for a paycheck and are just tired of the same old questions.
Yeah,
the glory days people,
and showing that they really need it. Like, not everybody's rich. Like when they show Alan Rickman's apartment, his character's apartment. Like that's one moment in the movie that I think really stands out to me as watching this with all that thinking about Horror Hound and the people that come to Horror Hound. Like you have Tim Allen who's living in this elaborate mansion on the hill in the Hollywood Hills. And then you have Sigourney Weaver who looks like she's in kind of a nice upper middle class house, but then they cut to Alan Rickman and he's just in like a shitty apartment. And he's the one that, he has you like there's something speaks deeply to that character for me that he never compromised.
Well, I think that's a thing too. I think what you're saying is because I feel like they're also like, even though I think the commander, Tim Allen, his character, he has that big house, but he also has this appearance of like he's not doing that well,
right? He's hustling
career wise, so it's like
taking any job that comes.
He's probably got a Cajun financial struggle. You know what I mean?
Trying to keep it.
Right, trying to keep it. And what I love, like, and then, like you said, Sigourney Weaver's still kind of in the spotlight a little bit, or, she's sort of that middle level. But yeah, it's great. You've got the actor who's just an actor who just wants to be an actor, living a more modest, kind of lifestyle.
And Tony Shalhoub's character, I do think they were hinting at him possibly being a stoner throughout this movie.
Oh, I really thought so too, for sure. And what I really liked, I thought Tim Allen, we and Alise talked about, he really felt like a real convention. Like, how some of those actors get.
I know who you're like who I'm thinking of. I'll just say it, like his personality reminds me a lot of Bruce Campbell's personality, the character.
Oh, you're giving him way more. I was thinking of like washed up, like desperate kind of, and they get to those conventions and they're just trying to hold on to that, the like wild look, like just like, hey, I'm still that guy. He had a real desperate feel to me that some of these that some of the actors that I've that are still trying to
say it. No, I won't.
Who?
It's mean. I don't need
say
to
it
say
after
it.
the show.
Oh. I didn't mean mine in a mean way. What I meant was the glad handing, the enthusiasm. He has more enthusiasm for. I think he treasures what he did.
Yeah, for sure.
More than the rest of the cast do.
That's what I mean about like the glory days. Like he is like he's still living in that, like, I'm the fucking captain. And still trying to feel like he's relevant. And it's like this level of like Gary Busey, like I'm,
That would be like if they made this movie now, he would have been on a reality show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or if you took Nicolas Cage and put him at a convention and dialed him made him way less successful. You know what I mean?
Man, how do you define success even, man? He lost an island.
But he's working constantly.
We were talking about background characters. You mentioned Rainn Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
But did you notice Ted from Scrubs was also one of the aliens?
No.
Yeah, one of the singing lawyers from Scrubs.
Oh, shit. No, I know who you mean.
All the people who made Scrubs have a new show coming out, too.
Well, you put that that Spock wig on somebody and it disguises them pretty well.
It's a terrible look.
Like, I didn't know that was Missy Powell because I'm so used to her as being a blonde.
Well, Boyle... I'm sorry. I was just going to say Boyle's cousin is one of them, too. From Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh!
Greg Binkley. All the Boyles look alike on Brooklyn Nine-Nine? The one who recurs the most on Brooklyn Nine-Nine is one of the aliens in this, too.
We thought Missy Powell was that one cast member from Mad TV, Stephanie Weir. at first because to me it didn't look like Missy Pyle, and they have a similar facial structure, I think.
Yeah,
but
I could see that.
Talking about their hair, the aliens' hair. We just finished Strange New Worlds last night, which is the new Star Trek series. And
that finale.
You like it? Because we're talking about starting it. Yeah, I want to.
It's a little uneven. But the
so
finale
Star
is
Trek.
outstanding.
Yeah, but there were Romulans. Was it Romulans?
Mm-hmm.
Just the haircuts, guys. And you know what? They kept true to it. They let this awful blunt bowl cut. Oh, it's so bad.
You know what though? Missy
on
Pyle
Romulus,
looked
it looks
cute on
good.
her. Yeah. On Romulus, it's the normal. Yeah.
You're using Earth
know.
standards, Amy.
Yeah.
I just can't even imagine a place.
Can we
That
agree
would be
though
good.
that Missy Pyle somehow pulled that hair off? She's very cute.
Fine.
She's not normally someone that registers for me, but I like her as this weird alien
He's
character.
into it.
I don't know what it is. Something.
And I know the joke is like these silly aliens, they base their society and all their technology on this silly show. But when you think about it, shouldn't we like be basing our society on Star Trek?
We are with that. Well, even you talk to people that work at NASA,
I love that.
They almost all came
like,
from being Star Trek fans.
Like the premise is like it's supposed to be played as a joke, but Star Trek we should be aspirational for us.
Well, that's what I was saying.
We should aspirate on it.
I was like, it's a beautiful thing. It comes off as silly at first, but then if you really just think about it, it makes sense because science fiction authors create ideas.
Their civilization.
It's like,
but also
I don't know Star Trek, but from what I understand, it's all about cooperation and understanding and just seeking knowledge. And
I'm also
some of it is.
I'm thinking too about the people who read the fiction and make it reality.
Some of it is about
the technical stuff.
Sex
War
ghosts
and
that
oppression.
come from candles.
Yeah,
and then
That's
you have
true.
sex
Some
with
of it-
them. The ghost.
Sex ghosts.
There's also war and oppression.
Yeah.
And then you do get
there's-
a random Elon Musk
Yeah.
out of it too.
Ugh.
Somebody who
They-
got the wrong message watching all the science fiction.
Yeah. Anyway.
Watching all the science fiction.
I loved that somehow. I loved the gentle nature of this movie, in that they were forced to step up and play the roles for real this time in space to help these aliens. And the movie was like, well, we won't make it too hard. Like the guy will figure out how to steer the ship.
What's beautiful about this story is how they, sometimes details are important to me, but if you can get around them in a way that I think is clever, like having the aliens or, base all of their tech on watching those shows, like the tech they build is brilliant. They are obviously so far advanced, but they did such a good job mirroring just what was done on this show that it's conceivable that if the people just kind of act like they acted, it's gonna more or less work. You know what I mean? It's still a stretch, but as a comedy movie and a sci-fi movie and a family-ish adventure movie, you can I feel like your suspension of disbelief should be covered by that.
It doesn't feel as far-fetched though, even like this.
It doesn't to me.
The idea that they reverse engineered, if they are a much more advanced civilization, they reverse engineered a movement and they saw the movement and assigned the output to it. They knew that, like the actors knew all the movements, right? Because they did it the same every time. But the aliens are like, why does that do this? And because they were so consistent in what they did, that's what I mean. That's really fucking brilliant.
I could go down this rabbit hole. I feel like I could carve the shit out of this in a fun way.
It's a great catch up, but I think we could get you. I think we could come back at you.
Yeah.
I think they thought about that stuff a lot of the
But then
time.
I like how they poke fun at the ridiculousness of certain things, like they to get to the reactor that trap.
Yeah, like why is that?
And
there?
like Sigourney Weaver is shouting out, "Why is this exist?"
Her character was so great. She was kind of the comic relief, really. Like, not that it isn't all comedy, but
and like to me, the aliens, they could be interpreted as on the spectrum autistic because they took everything literally.
They were even more like children.
Yeah.
Like
they were so genuine and they were really the emotional heart I thought for a lot of the.
So sweet.
I'll tell you, man. I got a lump in my throat when Mathazar is on that being tortured,
and he tells him he lied,
and he had explained to him that was make believe, and
his face when he says I lied is just like
when Mathazar says when he says why.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah. But the thing that made me literally cry was the Alan Rickman scene with the alien that got shot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's the ones they're both I think supposed to get you, but they're like, well, if this one didn't get you, we're really going to make sure we get you at the end.
It reminded me that scene from Angel when Wesley died.
Oh yeah.
Illyria pretended to be Fred for a second, and then in this scene. Alan Rickman were a character because he hated doing that line so much, but he did it for the sake of giving that alien like a good memory to go.
Could you imagine dying, but your most revered? You don't think they're fictional, but like your most revered fictional character is there to comfort you and give you. Who would you want there?
It's just your hero, really, right? It doesn't have to be a fictional character, right?
Could you imagine just how meaningful that would be for that little alien to die that way?
What if like your subconscious really assigned the character, so it's not even you think you want like Abraham Lincoln or Martin Luther King Jr. to show up, but
I don't want inspirational. I want comforting.
I don't want them to like dig in my mind and pull like random things.
I want fucking Delarice.
Delarice.
I want a nice big warm bosom,
touched by an angel.
Doesn't everybody want to go laying in the warm embrace of a woman's giant boobs?
Yeah,
I don't not.
Sounds nice enough. Yeah. I also like the idea of bunch of cotton.
So a ball of cotton comes like you can die now, Freddie.
Like a super comfortable bed. Sounds good.
Some anthropomorphic cotton.
The touch, the feel.
You know.
How did this movie end?
Well,
that was another great thing. I feel like. Is they're like, all right, we don't need to keep coming up with endings and like everything kind of happens and they go back in time 13 seconds because everybody gets shot by Cirrus, and Tim Allen remembers that if you turn on the Omega 13, it sets everything back 13 seconds, which he knows what's going to happen. It gives him time to react and get the gun away, and then they go through a whole thing, and they think they kill Cirrus, and then they land, and then he comes out, and then they blow him up.
Oh,
we haven't mentioned Sam Rockwell's character.
Oh,
at all.
Sam
Rockwell, right?
Holy shit, he was
the red shirt who becomes the plucky comic relief.
Yeah,
that's such an authentic convention thing too. To have this actor show up that was literally like maybe in 5 seconds of something, and they still have a table and signing autographs and having the reunions.
Well, he even had the "Can I get in on your table?" that like we've had from people we respect and in terms of films have looked up to.
Yeah,
that was a very true to convention,
Mr. Scorsese.
That was very true to conventions.
Yes.
I like his name as Guy. I thought that was a nice touch.
Because he's a guy.
And I love...
Again, very simple. They have so many nice little, don't worry about it.
And
that guy's, it's Guy.
Yeah, and that scene where he says it was like a suicide mission, but he was going to take it because that's his role on the show, is to die.
Yeah.
Like he was literally going to die for these aliens.
Yeah, that was kind of a moving moment too. But I love the part earlier with the babies in the rock, on the planet with the rock monster, where Sigourney Weaver has one of the funniest moments in the movie for me here, where she's like, somebody look out, make sure they're going to kill Guy. She was like, because Guy kept saying he was going to die. And she said something to the effect of, make sure those things don't kill Guy.
Yeah.
Her delivery is really good. You shouldn't listen to me tell you the line because I'm not doing it justice.
No, and even in that part at the end where he's going to take that, there's this real nice moment where Tony Shalhoub is like, well, maybe your role is the plucky comic relief and not the guy that dies.
Yeah.
Everybody had these real nice moments. It was actually a very warm, sweet movie, but also edgy. There was some fucking killing and death.
Alcoholism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, who wrote this?
The guy actually,
Big Daddy Kane.
Whoa.
There were 2 writers credited. I'm sure there's probably.
I just feel like these are people who 100% have seen all of the Star Treks.
Well, David Howard wrote a movie called Trek in 2018.
You say Trek or Shrek?
Shrek.
Okay.
Trek.
I said Shrek. I said Trek.
Trek.
But it has nothing to do with Star Trek.
That's crazy.
It's about pioneers.
Somebody knew. Somebody watched. Somebody's a fan. Somebody's also.
I think Robert Gordon is most likely the fan because he's the one who worked on the Men in Black movies and Sky Captain and all that stuff.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
It's just funny that the other guy wrote a movie called Trek that's not about Star Trek.
It's almost like I almost don't believe it.
It's trolling. It
sounds
feels
made up.
like.
I mean, I do believe it, but I almost don't.
Yeah.
It's a great flick, though. I feel like I could get. I've seen this 3 or 4 times now.
Little baby Justin Long, you guys.
I feel like I get right back in it. This director also did Bill and Ted Face the Music, which is great. He did some episodes of Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, which if you haven't seen with Elijah Wood is awesome, and Modern Family, Kelly.
Oh my gosh.
No.
It all comes back to Modern Family.
This movie too, I feel like this was a time in the late 90s where they were really trying to make stuff look good too and big. It was sort of like, I felt like there was this attempt at like the late 80s, like big movies. And this movie looked so good. The effects were really good. The sets were really good. Everything just looked really good.
Practical effects, the main villain.
Yeah, and
the bug monster. Like there are so many moving parts to him. And can I be gross for a second?
Please do.
Sigourney Weaver's tits. Damn.
She's a fine looking bitch.
She looked really good in this. She was so sexy in this movie.
Yeah, she's real sexy. I said you
that
never
was
see her like
character, right?
Yeah, I mean she's a sexy lady, but you don't like see her like dolled up in traditional sexy lady on a Star Trek type show garb.
Yeah, it was like it was a different look for her with the blonde hair.
Playing against her normal her normal thing. Even when she is playing sexy, it's usually a different kind of sexy.
This is the only time I've ever thought that Tim Allen looked sexy. Like they gave him.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked real good.
Yeah,
he obviously had been working out.
I'm sorry, I can't.
I fucking hate him.
I understand.
It's fine.
You're not even like personally. Like he's a gross person, but he has that.
I don't know if he's a
to me. He looked like
person.
Ron DeSantis.
He just looks like a guy.
He just looks like a coach somewhere. That,
yes.
Coaches can be sexy.
Like a bad coach. That he was probably
bad coach.
With a bad penis.
I was going to say the team that did the effects on this had gone on to do all the big movies like Pirates. And
all the big movies.
All of them. Deadpool, Marvel stuff, Star Wars stuff. So this is like the best. It's Stan Winston Studios did the special effects, but then the makeup effects.
But just the effects were done by somebody much less special.
Somebody less special. Because the makeup effects were all those people I just mentioned, and Stan Winston was the special effects.
It was done by Johnny Joe's Effects Barn. The standard
in Rib Hut.
You get what you get with Johnny Joe's. It's not very special, but you're gonna get something for your money.
You'll have some effects.
Johnny Joe's only serves like explosions on Saturdays for some reason, and it's while supplies last.
Yeah. Really? That's what you're paying for. I mean, yeah, if you want to pay special effects money, you go hire Stan Winston. Yeah. You have a budget for effects, Johnny Joe.
Oh, Johnny Joe.
Well, that's fantastic.
Oh, another you watched Sci-Fi recently, and Susan was on it.
Oh yeah, we've meant to say Susan. She was George's fiance.
No, I know who that is.
She was in the movie.
Mom.
Yeah, Justin Long's mom.
Yeah.
Justin Long's mom.
Long Mom Silver.
Long Mom.
So everybody's in this movie. I was expecting to see my name.
It's kind of crazy.
I was expecting.
There's probably more than we don't even realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. Galaxy Quest it is. I have to pick somebody from our mailing list for the next movie, and I will do that tomorrow. What are you pointing at, Freddie? Why are you messing with me right now?
I'll let you do it.
Okay.
I was just making sure that list was current.
I have a list here. Checking it twice.
Are you Santa?
Remind
Like
you of
someone
somebody?
else
Do you like
that you were
cookies?
going to see this month.
But I'll have you know that everybody on this list you're about to hear, naughty.
Mm-hmm.
This is the naughty list.
This is the naughty list, you guys.
Why do we sexualize our
I don't
listeners?
know. These are our Beelzebubs.
Because they're sexy.
This is a list of very sexy people. Beelzebubs, patreon.com/NOTLP. To go there to find out the things and the stuff. So we talk about these people every time because they're special. These special naughty people are Alise.
The very naughty who I sexualize every day, all day.
As is your privilege as her betrothed. No, you're married. Wait. Alyssa.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Branan and Emily.
Happy birthday.
Jeffel. Dustin. Dustin just got a new cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He's more cat than
I don't
man
remember
now.
the name. Sorry, Dustin. But give that cat a scratch. Iona Goodwin.
He's such a good fur baby daddy.
And a great one. Dr. Brian. Bill.
Oh.
Jerk bitch bout. My friend Bill. Bill Farner. I was going to see if I could rhyme that with something, and then I realized why try. Sorry, Bill.
Why?
Farner.
He's a farner.
Thank you. Do. Blake.
Oh.
Blayne. Yogurt. Jordache jeans. Paul. Jeremy and Cassie, don't you laugh at me. And Gamora.
I'm not.
It seems like you're waiting for them.
I don't know if you guys are going to interject or
I
not.
know you're waiting for.
I am 1,000,000% not going to. I just keep waiting.
Wondering if I will come up with something interesting. Ernie. Dave Siebert. And Monica.
Thank you, guys.
I don't have anything anymore.
So here's Cryptozoologist by the Obliging Victim.
I have this.
You have this.
This is where all my energy goes. I don't have quips anymore because it's all gone into rock music.
Rockety roll. All right, thank you so much. Enjoy the song.
Thank you, guys.
Forever, that's just what he said. next year he thinks could be the year. Sightings happen all the time.